Now, keep in mind that some of my guests have been approached by Homeland Security or FBI saying, why are you going to this late night this show? My message to those guys this morning is, go get a cup of coffee and you'll learn something. We both took the same oath. You know, to defend the Constitution, it goes all over foreign and domestic. I don't recall there being an expiration date on that.
Babe. Baby. Would you put that in the microwave for 30 seconds? Amen. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. And I don't know if my guest is going to show up. Don't matter much. Over the weekend, I have a theory here that God's alive and well on the internet. I mean, I can be talking to somebody on the telephone about the banking system, about the frauds, and almost like magic, the article will appear on my computer. no way. I don't think the NSA or DHS has perfected the idea that they can read our minds. Oh, and if they did, I don't think they would be sending me articles that back up everything that I'm telling you. And it's starting to happen now that we are the ideas that I put out 20 years ago about the militias, about the banksters, about everything that is going on is now like mainstream news. It's now airing on CNN, and people are starting to talk about it. People are starting to talk about the Federal Reserve. And back years ago, wasn't quite like that. So yesterday, or Saturday, I guess it was, I started an article, and I kept getting articles in that was basically backing up everything that I was talking about. Now, the article's still not quite done, but I want to share it with you because it's kind of important. And I will go, the top of the header says, the global Zionist government, Egypt is rebelling against these monsters, and pretty much monsters killing a whole village of Christians again. Why aren't we? Below that, I said I suggest we do it in style with Liberty Villages in our own neighborhoods. Build the solar units in your garage, turn our backyards into gardens, put up windmills, and tell zoning, the neighborhood associations, and the banksters to go to hell. And as I designed Liberty Villages over 10 years ago, as soon as I put it in the centerfold of my magazine, they attempted to kill me. This morning, that was Saturday morning, I got up to begin writing the story of one man's struggle to protect and inform the American people. Now, that would be me, Clay Douglas, a.k.a. the Free American. I wouldn't want to be accused of writing about myself in the third person by the Zionist. You will learn about a little later. Now, most of you know that the fact that I helped start and promote the militias as the 21st century rolled toward us. And I watched with millions of other Americans as the federal government attacked and murdered over 100 Christians, including 17 or 22 little children at Waco. I swore I would never stand by and watch something like that happen again without trying to do something. I started the Free American magazine and this radio show in 1994 from the north half of the only two-house town still on the map in New Mexico. Now, you may be aware of this because the powerful Zionist organizations, the ADL, SPLC, and AIPAC, began their assault on me and my family immediately, listing this old Texas biker publication like the ADL's Armed and Dangerous, the SPLC's False Patriots, and even manipulated the FBI into including me in a flyer for police listing Clay Douglas as a right-wing extremist. Now, as all of this began, I knew nothing more than any American about the Zionist Jewish controls of money and mainstream media. I read the local paper and watched the Today Show while running 3 businesses, stocking my freezer with dolphin from the media from the middle of the Gulf Stream. No, not Flipper. Not Flipper. Mahi to you landlubbers. And I enjoyed happy hour at a local waterfront bar. I watched Waco happen in hard, soon learned of what they did to the USS Liberty years before Waco. I just posted the story on LBJ and the USS Liberty on the 46th anniversary of that attack by Israel. And a quote from Hitler about Jesus and the attacks have been renewed in Honest. I had one of the person that books a lot of my guests decided that because I posted a quote from Hitler, now keep in mind, I don't know that Hitler said that, I wasn't there. I also posted other quotes, and I'll share some of those with you later. But it talked about being a warrior for Christ. In other words, being a true Christian. Hey, knock it off. Get up there. Lay it down. I learned over the years after they had attacked me that the Rothschild bought up most of the news agencies by the turn of the century, and with that pretty much controls your thinking and your perceptions of me and the matrix-like layer that composes your world. The Zionists use, control, and hide behind the Jews in the same manner that they do Christians. The rewriting of the Bible by Schofield and even the term Judeo-Christianity should be a clue to their desire for plans for total control of us today, which is, of course, why they don't want you to read the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's a whole plan for one world government under Lucifer, under Satan. By the way, for an aside for you pseudo-Christians out there, the term Judeo-Christian did not gain popularity until after the Hola hoax in Europe, reacting against the anti-Semitism of Nazi Germany. European and American commentators sought to redefine Judaism as integral to the history of the West. The term has since been used as a part of American civil religion since the 1940s to refer to standards of religious ethics said to be held in common by Judaism and Christianity. For example, the Ten Commandments are a great commandment, and of course I've got a link here to talk more about that. I thought I'd throw in at this point a quote by J. Edgar Hoover that the individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists. The American mind simply has not come to a realization of the evil which has been introduced in our midst. It rejects even the assumption that human creatures could espouse a philosophy which must ultimately destroy all that is good and decent. That was from Elks magazine, 1956. Now, this is the power of a free American. I am so well read and have a little immunity from propaganda and programming, and never let anyone tell you that just one man cannot make a difference. All right, let me finish this particular thing. I'll take a call. And that's just what I was talking about at the beginning here. Most people do not have the time or the desire to know the truth about everything. This is why they do not want me to succeed in reaching and educating the masses. And I have the ability and the desire to do that. I have Timothy Bible College. I have the Little Red Schoolhouse. And now I've got I've got money. I've got ways to beat the bank, because thinking people are out there. Now, the article I'm sharing with you right now, and the articles that are included and linked in this article, just showed up on my computer this morning. So maybe the work I started 20 years ago is now taking root. That was the power of the Free American magazine. Now got all of the same thing, and it's online, it's on the Facebook page, it's on the Free American page, and it's on this radio show, and it's on Revolution Broadcasting, and Revolution Broadcasting is going to be helping us promote the whole concept of Liberty Villages, bringing the country into the city, taking back our sovereignty right there in the middle, right where you are at. You don't have to move to another state. You don't have to go into another political system. You don't have to renew everything. By communicating and by using the libertyvillage.org, the Liberty Villages Expo, the Liberty Villages co-op.com, we can communicate. We can get back to a the idea of prospering, because we can, if we build it ourselves instead of working for the multinational corporations, if we convert our homes into money-making properties. Oh, tell me about I know, jump up there, you Jewish programmed idiots. Don't take it. The Jews hate me. They hate to see me prosper, because I do call it treason. And I've got a caller here. Who do we have? 304 area code. Absolutely, Scott. It's Clay at freeamerican.com. Where are you located, Scott? Where are you located? All right. Well, West Virginia, good place to start. You already got people that are country-minded. I think we can take back our small towns, especially because those small towns are surrounded by the farms, and Hollywood stole your children from those farms. How you going to get them back on the farm after they've seen L.A.? So I'm really encouraging people, this whole Liberty Village Co-op, all you got to do is send me an email to tell me what you can do, what you can offer, what your talents are, and what you can do to contribute, what you can do to be productive. Matter of fact, I've got a thing up on Facebook, and it's talking about the Constitution, and it's talking about the fact that at Jamestown, the merchants paid these people to come over to settle America and set up communism here. They basically told them to set up communism at Jamestown, and they found out it didn't work. It wasn't a solution. And so to get back to being more productive, they switched more to a capitalistic system, and then it worked. People were starting to produce more because all of their labor wasn't being given to people that weren't doing shit. And this is what the concept behind Liberty Village is. What can your block do? Now, if your neighbor don't want to get on the bandwagon and work with you and turn his backyard into a garden and put solar on his roof so we can make money off of it, so we can make money off the power company, so the power company's going to pay us. If your neighbor don't want to do that, and I don't care whether he's Jewish, I don't care whether he's a Muslim, I don't care whether he's a Christian, I don't care whether he hugs trees. If your neighbor don't want to do that, see ya, have a good life. You sit right there and watch what the other neighbors and I do together, working together. So all you gotta do is send me an email. Whatever part of town, whatever part of the country you're in, we'll get you flyers so you can take it to your neighbor next door, put it on the neighbor next door. You don't even have to talk to them. I can talk to them. I can set this bargaining up. I've interviewed the people all over the country, that the doctors that heal themselves without the pharmaceuticals. We've got doctors to warn you about taking vaccines and getting caught up into this whole communist-type system. All it takes, all of the plans are here, all of the resources are here. We've got it right down to the money right now. We got something called Mountain Hours. It's based on Ithaca Hours right out of there in New York. And it's how you issue a currency in your own neighborhood that you can use, that you can pay for things with. And you don't have to use Federal Reserve notes. We deal in hours. We deal in productivity. And we work together to buy it wholesale, to get everything at cost plus 10, and sell whatever we can produce, whatever we can grow. And remember, folks, the self-sufficient family farm is the basis of all civilization. Scott, thank you very much for being on with me. Now, I've got David on the line. I'm glad to see you're alive, David.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you. I was just tuning in the program this morning and enjoying a cup of coffee and just wanted to let you know that I've been here in LA just for a short while longer, and you're exactly right. Everybody out here knows this is my franchise, my side of town, and the way it is. I'm ready to move back to Minnesota as soon as I can. Get my feet back in the dirt again. It's become a sad set of affairs for everyone, but like you were saying, we need to restructure our system here on the ground floor level first, and get the neighborhoods and the towns all working together. And you know what you were saying about about communism? There were some good points. We need to share what we all got. We need to help each other. That's about as far as we can go. We can't all achieve whatever we can accomplish for ourselves, and that can be great things. We don't have to keep it all
when I started David, when I started the Liberty Village concept, front page, middle section, centerfold of my magazine, Free American, I, I got a lot of comments, but most of them were, I can't move to Bingham, New Mexico. I can't move to the country. It's too far to drive. I got a job. I got to have a job. I got to have a job. And that's what they've done to us. Part of the control of the media is one of the things I'll be talking about in my second hour. And with the control of the media, hell, they wrote a song about it. How you gonna get them back on the farm after they've seen L.A.? And by the way, the ass that's on the chat room, it says, communism was great. They starved 10 million people in the winter of 31-32. That was the communists. That was the Jews. Some call it communism. I call it Judaism for the masters. Judaism for the masses. And I'll be talking about that. I'll be addressing that with the information given to us by an honest Jew. That's right. That's right. Everybody said, Clay, we need to appeal to the good Jews out there. Well, I've done that. I appealed to Aaron Russo, who put out really good information. And, of course, they killed him. Fast-acting cancer. Same way they got to Chavez. Fast-acting cancer. But we working together, people working together, and being productive is our greatest power. The foundation, according to my friend, again another demonized guy, Richard Kelly Hoskins, the foundation of every civilization is the self-sufficient family farm. Now, if we're now my plan now, you can't move to the farm, right? You can't even afford a farm anymore because the foreign nationals are buying it up. You can't run a farm without the help of your sons and daughters, and of course that's child labor now to the communists. So the answer, I think, and a part of the answer is education. Well, we're going to do that. We got Timothy Bible College, and we got the Little Red Schoolhouse. We got computers. Everybody listening to this show has got a computer. For 1 hour a day, all you have to do is turn Skype on and set your kid down in front of it, and his teacher will teach him. He'll assign the lessons, and you can get your degree. You can get your bachelor's. You can get your master's degree with Timothy Bible College. And that's part of the thing. Now, what I want to do, because they can't go somewhere else, we bring the country into the city. You make every house into an income-producing property. I've always worked out of my house. Every dime I've ever made has been just about, sometimes I've had offices in Miami and places, but all of my work was done out of my home. Now, why can't we make that home? I don't do gardens, but I got a neighbor who does. How about we put gardens in my half and your half, you do the work, and you get half of my garden.
Well, that sounds great to me, Clayton. That sounds perfect. And yet, look what you said. We can turn every house into a self-producing farm on its own. We can be baking.
Now, keep in mind, you got your wife's in the kitchen. She bakes wonderful blueberry pies, or And, oh, well, we got to go out and buy the ice cream. No, actually, we can make that in an hour soon. And in your garage. Now, I can't do everything alone. You may not be able to do a radio show for 2 hours a day. You may not be able to read 1,000 words a minute. You may not be able to research what we're all of the things that I research. This is what I do. I read every newspaper from every writer from Russia Today to Iran. I mean, you want to know what's happening around the world? Go to Iran's television channel that they're trying to bar around the world. They got better reporting. They got better reporting than CNN, and you might learn why they want us to go to war with Iran, because Iran don't want to get along in the banking system. Now, if you're railing against the banking, and you're damn right, I'm railing against the banking system. If you're railing against the banking system, then what sense does it make to use the Federal Reserve notes? Now, I've got a real $5 bill in my wallet. I won't use it because it's one of the last ones in existence that LBJ tried to destroy. It's a United States note that Kennedy issued with Executive Order 1110. And, of course, they murdered Kennedy. This was the banksters that murdered Kennedy. Were they Jews? Well, whoever killed Oswald to keep him from talking and keep him from revealing what a patsy he really was, that was a Jew by the name of Ruby that killed him. Now, here, this is an answer. Now, it don't make we can go back. I can go back in history for 2,000 years. I'm going to go back a little ways, and I'm going to let a Jew of the caliber of Aaron Russo, I'm going to let a Jew by the name of Benjamin Friedman give you an insight into what's being done to you. You got a minute to be with me, David?
Sure. I've listened a long time.
All right. And I pointed this out. Remember, I've got books coming out called the Lucifer Legends. And I am suggesting in that this novel will be based on a short story that I did about God being insane, that Yahweh was the insane captain of the earth ship Heaven, piloted during the planet-wide, solar system-wide cataclysm that occurred with the lightning strikes coming from Earth to Mars, with the water coming from Venus and pouring down on the Earth. I suggested that perhaps the Bible is, and the reason the Bible is divided into two, because the God they talked about in the Old Testament wasn't exactly a nice guy. And Benjamin Friedman, Jewish historian, researcher, and scholar, said Christians have been duped by the unholiest hoax of all, by so-called Jews. This is considered their most effective weapon. This big lie technique is brainwashing United States Christians into believing that Jesus Christ was King of the Jews, in the sense that the so-called Jews today call themselves Jews. This reference was first made in English translations of the Old and New Testament centuries before the so-called Jews hijacked the word Jew in the 18th century AD to palm themselves off on the Christian world as having a kinship with Jesus Christ. Now, this alleged kinship comes from the myth of their common ancestry with the so-called Jews of the Holy Land in the Old Testament history, fiction based on fable. American Christians little suspect they are being brainwashed 24 hours of every day over television and radio, by newspapers and magazines, by motion pictures and plays, by books, by political leaders in office and seeking in office, by religious leaders in their pulpits and outside their churches, by leaders in the field of education inside and outside their curricular activities, and by all leaders in business, professions, and finance whose economic security demands that they curry to the leaders. They curry the favors of so-called Jews of historic Khazar ancestry. Unsuspecting Christians are subjected to this barrage from sources they have little reason to suspect. Incontestable facts provide the infallible proof of the historic accuracy of the so-called Jews throughout the world of Eastern European origin are unquestionably the historic descendants of the Khazars, a pagan Turco-Finn ancient Mongolian nation deep in the heart of Asia, according to history, who battled their way in bloody wars about the 1st century BC into Eastern Europe, where they set up their Khazar kingdoms. For some mysterious reason, the history of the Khazar kingdom is conspicuous by its absence from history courses in the schools and colleges. The historic existence of the Khazar kingdom of the so-called Jews, their rise and fall, the permanent disappearance of the Khazar nation as a nation, the Khazar kingdom as a nation, from the map of Europe, and how King Bulan and the Khazar nation about 740 A.D. became so-called Jews by conversion, were concealed from American Christians by censorship imposed by the so-called Jews of historic Khazar ancestry upon all U.S. media mass communications directed by them. Then, in 1945, this author, Benjamin Friedman, gave nationwide publicity to his many years' intensive research into the facts alive concerning Khazars. The disclosures were sensational and very effective, but apparently angered so-called Jews, who have continued to vet their spleen upon this author since then solely for that reason. Since 1946, they've conducted a vicious smear campaign against him, seeking thus to further conceal these facts for obvious reasons. What have they to fear from the truth? In an original 1903 edition of the Jewish Encyclopedia in New York's Public Library and in the Library of Congress, Volume 4, pages 1 to 5, appears a most comprehensive history of the Khazars. Also in the New York Public Library are 327 books by the world's greatest historians and other sources of reference, in addition to the Jewish Encyclopedia dealing with Khazar history and written between the 3rd A.D. and 20th centuries by contemporaries of the Khazars and by modern historians on the subject. And I guess he said that to make this point that Jesus was a Judean, not a Jew. During Jesus' lifetime, no persons were described as Jews anywhere. That fact is supported by theology, history, and science. When Jesus was in Judea, it was not the homeland of the ancestors of those who today style themselves Jews. Their ancestors had never set foot in Judea. They existed at that time in Asia, their homeland, and were known as Khazars. In none of the manuscripts of the original Old or New Testament was Jesus described or referred to as a Jew. The term originated in the late 18th century as an abbreviation for the term Judean, and refers to a resident of Judea without regard to race or religion, just as the term Texan signifies a person living and born in Texas. In spite of the powerful propaganda effort of the so-called Jews, they've been unable to prove in a recorded history that there is one record prior to that period of a race, religion, or nationality referred to as Jew. The religious sect in Judea at the time of Jesus, to which the self-styled Jews today refer to as Jews, were known as Pharisees. Judaism today and Phariseeism at the time of Jesus are the same. Jesus abhorred and denounced Phariseeism, hence the words, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, ye serpents, ye generations of vipers." What do you think, David?
Well, Clayton, I think I want to hear just a bit further on your program here. That was a great guest you had on last year. And since he's announced his candidacy for the 2016 election, I want you to get him back on. I want to hear more from him.
I'll do my best to get him back.
Those seducing Pharisees and zealots were a bunch of half-baked lunatics back in the day. And Jesus, I understand, was born into a scene or a scene populace near the Dead Sea, and that's the group that he came from. But you're right. Nobody in ancient Israel referred to themselves as Jews at all. But the times are changing, and they're still changing still. And this next election, I don't think we're going to be a Democrat or a Republican that's going to legally spot in office. We're going to have an independent candidate, and I'd like to see independents elected as our congressmen and senators, too. That give everybody a fair chance, a fair shake, the ones that got into office. And that's the way we need to remake this entire system, from the top down and from the bottom up. You know, living out here in LA a little over 20 years has just taught me exactly what's going on in the big cities, and that's absolutely nothing. I've always been raised in small towns for 18 years. Those small towns actually are still pretty darn prosperous because they grow everything they need. They manufacture most of the products that they use, and in the small town, you're somebody. You know, everybody knows you, and everybody appreciates you, and you get up in the morning, you go to work, come home at night, and you enjoy the fruits of your labors. Like you said, you know, someone does the baking, someone does the harvesting, someone does everything in the small towns, and some of them are like you and me. And so, it's just these big cities that are taking away our own personal accomplishments and made us feel as though we can't do anything anymore. Everybody else can do something that can help the whole as they're in a small community. That's what we need to do. You know, moving back to small community is actually a real horrible thing now because these big cities they're so expensive to live in, and you can't find a job, and you gotta go to the grocery store and pay outrageous prices for all your food, and water bills going up, power bills going up, and everything's going through the ceiling. I'm getting ready to move back to a small community back in the Midwest, because that's where, you know, people will help you, and you can find a job anywhere. I mean, you can get employment doing just about anything. But that's where it's at. We've got to start at the ground floor again and get our roots back into the earth and start to realize what it really takes to make it. It just takes rolling up your sleeves and making it happen.
Well, that's true. Action trumps lies. Evidence does not lie. So how has the American public been so brainwashed by lies in light of so much evidence? Are Zionists that intelligent, or is the American people that unintelligent? And how did even that obvious question become a third rail issue? Just like we got it on the chat room today. You know, we got people calling themselves Yahweh's ass, you know, talking about the Khazar myth debunked. You had some dude that opposed Arthur Koestler, another Jew's take on exposing the truth about these so-called Jews. And
Well, we've been sold so much junk on television set and magazine, and now the third world countries are producing half the stuff we're trying to use in our homes, and that's how they've done it to us over the last 25, 30 years. They just sold us all this bull hockey, and they're still doing it on the television nowadays. All these drug ads and whatnot, they're selling that to us too. People got to wake up and realize that what they use in their homes, what they use every day, needs to be made right here in this country, first of all, and quit buying this imported junk. It's not worth it. It's not worth a doodly anyway. You know, all these games and knockoffs of the things that we used to make and use here, it don't last. It don't work. It isn't any good. And that's what we've got to realize. Our own products, our own ingenuity works so much better for us. You can remember when you were a child, and it wasn't so long ago, that we used to make the best stuff in the world, and the rest of the world was copying stuff made in the USA. And then it just slowly turned around, and now we're importing everything from somebody else. If you want to break, you know, I remember that refrigerators used to be last for 12 years or longer. Now you get them in 5, 6 years, the compressors go, or something goes to heck in the system, and you got to get it repaired. Or your car breaks down, the brakes don't work, pieces that just don't hold up anymore. And we don't need to be buying this stuff and using this stuff because it just causes more headache for us in the long run. We can actually go back and start making it all for ourselves and making it even better than it was before with our technology nowadays. And that's another thing. We've got the technology all worked out now, so we can produce these better products that last longer.
And one of the links that I've got up on my Facebook site, and I'll continue to share that with you, there is some answers. The technology that we have answers, and the technology is coming from Iran, which may be the reason they're beating the Zionists are beating the drums, because there's technology in Iran that they simply don't want us to have. And we're being moved into World War III. That may be the focal point, may be Syria. Hold on just a minute, David, and let me hear from Syria. Let's hear from Syria here. Hopefully we can do this. And when we're going to get back, I'm going to tell you about the whole Zionist conspiracy on the second hour.
I'm talking to you today on behalf of a lot of Egyptians who wants to deliver a message not only for you, for all the American citizens. Leave us alone. All the families in Egypt want to tell you this message. Leave Egypt alone. Please, Mr. Obama. And stop supporting the terrorists. Stop supporting the friends of Omar Abdurrahman, the terrorist who killed lots of Americans. Stop supporting the allies of Ayman al-Zawahiri, of Pakistan, of Taliban. You are giving them the full support by calling what's happening in Egypt a military coup. It's not a military coup. It's a revolution done by a civilized people, civilized Egyptians, who are counted officially more than 30 million. If you don't know, I don't know that the media showed Muhammad Yusuf Morsi was actually calling his people for violence, for blood in the streets. And these fanatics and these Islamic supporters of him are blindly following him. These Islamic people are the ones who celebrated the killing of the American ambassador in Libya. They went in the streets and they were celebrating it. These people who Mr. Obama is supporting are the people who are in their prayers asking God to destroy the United States. Yes, these are the people that Mr. Obama is supporting. Mr. Obama, face the facts and tell your people that what happened in Egypt was a real revolution against the tyrant called Mohammed Morsi, against the regime. Our army is our shield, and we don't want to be in a state of war with the United States. We don't want this. We are friends of the United States. We are friends with the whole world. So 85 million Egyptians, I'm sending you this message of love and peace, and asking you, Mr. Obama, to stop supporting Mohammed Morsi and the other terrorists in Egypt. We are the Egyptians, and this is our revolution. We believe in our Egypt, and we respect the Americans, and we respect your country, so please respect our country, and respect our freedom. We called for this freedom, and we will die for it. Egyptians and the army are one. We made it, and the army supported us. You also, Americans, should support us. I'm sending you this message of peace and love and prayers. Pray for Egypt. Dear Mr. Obama,
Alright, Edgar, you still with me? Yeah, David, you still with me? Okay, now you're there. Alright. I'm sorry.
Well, that sounded to me like a heartfelt plea to every citizen of the United States to sit up and listen to what's going on over there, even though the news is the only way we can find out anything. Sounds like you're having trouble in Egypt.
Well, it was probably the largest demonstration in history. You got 13 to 16 million people in the streets in Egypt kicking the banksters out, kicking the Muslim Brotherhood out. And if they can do it in Egypt, why can't we do it here?
Well, we can. We're just all divided. We're all sitting there watching the news and the football games and all the sports we got on and all the things that don't matter at all to human life or civilization. That's what we're involved in over here. And I would really enjoy just seeing all that crap cut out of our existences, at least until we get the country back up and running on solid ground again. But the sportscasters and the news covers that stuff more in the night than they do the real happenings around the world. But coming up this next election, as I said, Jesse Ventura is going to be leading the pack of thinkers and people that really want to make a difference. And I'd like to encourage everyone out there to listen to him and listen to his platform and listen to exactly what's coming down the pipes to everyone soon, because if they don't, there isn't going to be any basketball games or football games or any of these kind of games around the play anymore. It's all going to be gone, flushed down the toilet. real soon. But,
Alright, we'll be right back here. Coffee ought to be warm. David, thanks for calling in.
thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Alright, sure.